So I'm going to pull open an Excel file. So this is blank. The only thing you're going to see here is I do have a macro that's embedded to help me with the calculation of months of cover. But other than that, we're starting with a clean slate. So what I like to do is just kind of for aesthetics, I make the whole thing kind of white so I don't have to look at the grid lines. And then I'll just give it a title. Okay, so if you recall from that supply chain diagram that we talked about at the very beginning, there's really going to be three markets here. We had the United States, the UK, and Germany. And I'm going to assume all the finished goods use the 5 milligram tablet. And for each of the locations, we'll assume each one has two different finished goods. So we'll do a 10 count and a 50 count bottle, something pretty simple. So in order to start to model these markets, we'll start off with the US. So this is going to be finished goods. And for each of these distribution centers in the country, to model them properly, we need to first have a demand picture. We need to have a safety stock strategy. We then need to have a starting inventory level. And then based on that information, we can project what the receipts need to be in order to satisfy the demand in a given monthly bucket, as well as have us end the month at our target safety stock level. So we're going to put a couple of rows in here to help us model that. And you're going to see me add some aggregation rows. So we're going to have a unit of measure of finished good eaches. And then I'm going to have an aggregation level where I convert that into total number of bulk tablets. And then I'm going to have one more aggregation level where I convert that into, let's say, I think probably kilograms of active ingredient is what I'll use. So I'll get started here and you can follow along. And we're going to do this 3 times, for each of the different markets. So I think by the time we're done, it should be pretty straightforward. So let's start by just going to insert a couple of rows to make space for our different finished goods. So this is going to be, we'll say, there's a better way to do this. And then our this is going to be unit of measure is going to be eaches. I want to indent this a little bit so that we can start to get some separation. So you'll see as we get to some of the formatting, how some of this makes it a little bit easier to read. Let's see here. Let's also start to put in our time buckets. So we're going to start our first bucket is going to be the end of 2012. And we will carry this out through 2015 for our full 3-year horizon. Okay, that takes care of that. This is going to be, one of our aggregation columns will be bulk. This will be tablets. Give ourselves a little bit more space so we can see this a little bit better. All right, so you can see as I started here with the receipts rows, and this is going to really work left to right. So we're going to have the receipts for each of the finished goods in the US market. We're going to have the demand under the forecast section. We're going to have our inventory projection here. Then we're going to have our inventory coverage in terms of months of cover. And then we're going to have our inventory value in terms of US dollars. Oops. Okay. So let me delete that. Let me just save several times as we go, just in case we lose anything. Now the other aggregation row that I'm going to want is in terms of active ingredient. So and initially it won't make sense why we have these, but as we start to build out the model and work at different levels, you're going to see how this becomes valuable. We'll add it in here just to... Oops, and that's not what I wanted. So our aggregation unit of measure when we get to API is going to be kilograms. And then obviously for coverage it's months, and for the value it's US dollars. So let's start to put some formatting here to clean this up a bit, and then I'll build a little more of this out. And you can start to see this thing kind of come to life a little bit more, so it's not just a little bit of a mess to get us started here. And that's probably too dark for us to read. So we'll put the grid box in, again, just to add a little bit more formatting to this. Okay, that pretty much gets us started. The next thing I want to add over here, and you'll see how we use this for aggregation, but it's just kind of a total number of tablets in each finished good. So this one is 50 or 10, and the next one is 50. And again, we'll use this during our aggregation. And then I'm just going to reference these in the other columns. And then we won't need that for down here. All right, so that pretty much gets us started off in the formatting piece. I do want to put a little bit of a separator between the top half of this table, which is kind of the operation stuff, and then the bottom half, which is more of the reporting, so the inventory coverage and the inventory value. So I'll just add a double line just to separate the two out.